wanted to look at something kind of really underneath it all. Because the 48 Laws of Power, I'm looking at these games that people are playing in this kind of court-like atmosphere with all these politics going on and strategies being used and all of that. I wanted to like dig underneath it and go into the mind and the guts of what makes a person powerful or successful, not just with money, but just in the sense of feeling like you're a powerful person. And I had the chance to work with 50 Cent. He was a fan of the 48 Laws. A lot of rappers are. I've met quite a few who feel like they've used the book to help them. He was one of them. We met. We found we had a really interesting rapport. We felt very comfortable with each other, as if we had known each other for many years. And so we did this book together. But for me, the idea was, here's somebody who comes from the absolute bottom of America, Southside Queens, in the crack era, when an African-American male is not supposed to live past the age of 25, particularly one who's dealing drugs and is dealing with all the violence. Not only did he manage without a mother or father in his life, he never knew his father, his mother was murdered when he was 8. Not only did he manage to be a hustler, but he managed to get out of the hustling racket, he managed to get into music, but he managed to survive that horrible world of music with all the crap political games that go on within. He not only survived, but he was able to become successful, but he kept building on it and building on it. It's a typical American rags to riches story. I wanted to know why. What's underneath it? What was that quality that maybe we could learn? And in spending time with him, I felt like if I could summarize it in one word, it's that this is a man who comes to life without fear. So it's not just fear of death or bullets. That's the obvious thing we're talking about. I'm talking about, here's a man who's not afraid of change, for instance. If something happens where a situation is new, he's lost a job, he's been cut off this record contract, there's something happening, he doesn't get upset or worried. He's calm. He deals with it in a fearless manner. He takes risks, but the risks are controlled, but he's not afraid of failing. He's not afraid of being criticized. He's not afraid of being different from other people. When I thought about that, it's just how powerful you could be in life if you are not afraid of the things that happen to you. You're able to feel balanced and in control and make decisions not based on exaggerating risks, etc., but on reality. I just thought it was an incredibly powerful way to be in the world. I could feel it myself, influenced by him and seeing myself going forward. And when I looked at all the people I've studied in history, Napoleon Bonaparte, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Catherine the Great, Cesare Borgia, all of the thousands of people I've studied, they all shared that quality. And it's like it's a way of being in the world. When you're afraid and fearful, it's like your mind, the aperture of your mind closes up to this, and you stop looking at the world around you. You want everything to be comfortable and familiar and the same. You stay in your house, you watch the same TV shows, everything just, the circle closes up. When you're not afraid, and we've experienced it all in our lives, when you're in a new country and you just don't, you're traveling and you feel open, your mind is active and alive, you become creative, everything changes. This is the key to feeling powerful, but also to being creative in the world. So I wanted to get underneath all of the other things, the power, the seduction, the strategy, and see that quality that lay underneath it all. I don't want to get angry here because it's not about you, but I get so annoyed with that argument about it being innate. How could something like that be innate? Sure, we are all individuals, and somebody, because of who they are and their DNA and their experiences, are a little more timid than other people. But nobody is born without fear. We are all born into this world screaming and crying, bloody mess. We're terrified of being away from our mother for a few minutes. We're afraid of the dark. We're afraid of dying. We're afraid of being beaten up in school. We're afraid of failing. There's not an individual on this planet, I don't care who you're talking about, who hasn't felt a lot of fear. What differentiates people are those we find who tend to deal more with fearful situations and understand that it's hurting them in life. if by becoming fearful, they're maiming themselves, and they learn to move past these fears. That's what separates people. That's what separated 50. He saw being on the streets, that if he was afraid, it was just going to mess him up. People could read it off him. He'd get conservative. It wouldn't work. And so he learned that he had to teach himself to not be fearful in any circumstance in life. That's what the book is there for. Certainly some people don't have as much clay to work with, or they're older and things are set. But everybody has the capacity to be more realistic and realize that the reason they're holding on to that bad job, it's not because they're being realistic or prudent or being a good worker. It's because they're afraid. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of leaving something. They're afraid of anything unfamiliar. It's fear. When you understand the fear, then you can begin to move past it. So when I hear the people say it's innate, you can't learn it, I just want to hit them in the head. I don't know.